Hello everyone, we are back with another game. This is one that you all see all the time. For me personally, I didn't know how to play this until I started making this video. So there is a probably good number of people out there that also don't know how to play Backgammon. This is a two-person game. To set up the start of the game is by placing the white and black pieces around the board like so. You also have two normal die and one special die that displays the exponential of the number 2 on each side. The numbers on this die represent how much the game is worth in points. If a player is very confident in winning, they'll ask if the round could be worth double the points at the beginning of their turn. Each game starts as worth 1 point. The opponent may refuse the double and play normally. But if the first double is accepted, refer to this flowchart. The person that accepts the double gets the die. If later on the player with the die wants to double again, it is called a redoubling. If the player choosing whether or not to accept does accept, the points are just doubled and they become the owner of the die. But if they refuse the doubling, the player loses the number of points on the die before the offer to be made. This die is purely just a placeholder to know how much the game is worth. Now how to play the game. There are two phases. In phase 1, black and white go in opposite directions, with white going from number 24 to number 1 and black going from 1 to 24. To start, both players roll one die. If doubles, try again. Whoever got the higher number goes first and uses the numbers rolled. You can only move your pieces forward and not go backward. Each die is considered a separate move, so you can use both die on one checker or on separate checkers. If a double is rolled, then consider it to be 4 separate moves of same value. Players must use both moves. If either number can be played but not both, the larger one must be used. If you can't use a move, you lose your turn. A checker cannot land on a spot that has 2 or more opponents' checkers on it, or if there are 6 checkers there. If there are 6 checkers in one spot, then it forms a wall and neither color can pass through the wall. If you land on your opponent with only one checker, you can bump it to the bar on the middle of the board. This removes it from play. You must get all your pieces back into play before continuing. To get it back into play, both dice are rolled, and if there is an open slot on one of those dice location at the beginning, then it can be re-entered. Now let's start phase 2 rules. Only when you have all your pieces in the final 6 spots can you start phase 2, and if for some reason one of your pieces is bumped to the bar, you must work it all the way back around before you can continue with phase 2. In phase 2, the player still rolls both dice and can remove pieces corresponding to your number. You do not have to remove. If you roll a 6 but there is not a piece in the 6th spot, you must remove from the 5th. But if you roll a 2 and want to move one from the 5th to the 3rd, it is allowed. The first to remove all their pieces wins the round and gets the points. And if the doubling die was used, then they get that many points. If the loser has removed at least one checker, then they only lose the number of points on the doubling die. If not, then they lose twice as much as the doubling die. Let's play a quick game. Well, that was loads of fun. Come back next time for another fun game.